I'm waiting to see. I've invited. Hey, Anika. Um, I'm sending you a request. Can you please accept it? Anika, can you actually see you're not able to join? Okay. Can you send me a request, please? Hey.
Hi, can you hear me? Hi.
Yes. How are you?
Can you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I think this is really, it was a bit weird, right? To do this.
I know. I mean, I don't know. This is my first time with live, so I don't know how it works. And I was like, no,
Yeah.
I don't see notification. Now I see how it goes. So
Yeah. We have a few people, and I'm just gonna say hi. We have some audiences.
hey.
Yeah, so I think it's good to start by just giving a short introduction of who I am and who are you
Yeah,
and why we are doing this, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so my name is Shafaq Rahman and my nickname is Sana, so everybody knows me by that name. And I've been in academia for some time already. I've okay, Anika is again gone somehow, but um, and yeah, 1 second, I'm going to really check again. This is a bit of a issue. I think it's always the case, right? Um, yeah. So meanwhile, I think Anika, either
I
your
got
internet or
automatically.
something.
Sorry, no, no.
Yeah,
My internet
it sucks.
was fine. I don't know for some reason.
It sucks. No, okay, I'm kidding. So yeah, so I've been in academia for some time already. I've finished my PhD recently in medicine, and now I'm a postdoctoral scientist. Yeah, and I live in Europe. So while I was in this phase of my life, I actually got aware about mental health and mental health issues. And I think it's very important that in today's generation, for people like us who are really on the run all the time, right, to be aware of what affects you, and yeah, to just bring out more awareness. And that's how this being mental came up. And I thought, like, instead of just scrolling mindlessly on Instagram, which is what I keep on doing it, I thought of putting it to some good use. So I hope this helps, even if it is just one person. Somebody says, Anika, it's a
I am curious. Like
yeah.
I see
So
some
there's
people. I wonder,
people,
like, is it?
yeah,
Yeah.
Mahdi, Sabrina, and I have there's Mabu, Fariha,
Hi.
yeah, all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, so I gave a bit of an introduction about myself. So Anika, here's your floor. Maybe you can introduce a little bit about yourself.
Yep. So hi everyone, I'm Anika and I am working also at the university right now, and I would say that I'm very new in university, but I have a long experience working in Bangladesh, especially with like gender and um, women empowerment issues. And yeah, my work focus is mostly on climate change and gender right now. So that's pretty much about it. But I think Sana and I talked a lot about mental health, and we both, I think, are on the same page on when it comes to like why it's important to, you know, have a discussion on mental health, not only in a sense of like when we are in our personal space, but also when we are in work space, and how we navigate through our life when we are at work. So we think, yeah, that was really important for us. And I mean, I'd like Sana to explain more why she wanted to start this platform, Being Mental, and then yeah, we can talk a little bit later more about her experience in
Yeah,
academia.
so it was just like a start, right? Like, what is a good platform? How do I bring it out with to people? Because I went through a phase myself a couple of years back, and I just started talking about it because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I was feeling, so I was just talking to like whoever and whatever, and you know, like, and then I figured out that I am not alone in this journey, and that was fascinating to me, Anika, because I thought that, okay, this is just not me. There's so many people around me who also feel the same way. And they were being able to open up to me. So we could have a conversation without any judgments, without, yeah, anything about it. We could talk about everything. And it made me feel that this is an opportunity, and I'm in a position where I could actually bring it out again, even to one person who could actually spread it out to the world, that when you feel a certain way, and it's not just you are alone in this journey, right? And you can always seek support and seek help. And yeah, there are lots of statistics based on academia itself. So I, because today's live session is based on academic professionals, and a lot of people go through similar feelings, the feeling of being lonely, and then the feeling of just being alone in this pool, and what next, and what to do, and do I have to cater to the needs of my bosses or my teachers, and you know, and what if I fail, what if I cannot, and the future seems scary, but we are all there. I'm sure you can also relate to it. And yeah, so that's why I think this was a platform. It was a difficult start for me because you have to be open to yourself, and it's kind of a big responsibility. But this is only the beginning, and I think I found a partner. So together we could yeah, step up and do something good out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I, no, sorry. No, you
Yeah,
go
so
first and
I
then.
was so yeah, indeed. So we have a common goal, and I think we have some other people. There's Zubair, there's Noreen. So big hi.
I see Zubar Bhai Noor in there here. I
Yeah,
mean,
super nice. It's nice.
I'm
It's nice to see. It's
okay.
nice
That's
to see some
very
faces,
nice.
and of course, guys, you can also type in, yeah, whatever you feel like, and we, because it's also a learning process. So I would also like to learn from others, because
Yeah.
I do believe I'm not alone in this journey, right?
No. There is one thing that I also would like to add, because I think when you and I had the conversation about this platform, and we both agreed that especially in the global south, mental health is so stigmatized. We don't talk about it openly, and the importance of sharing experience as a mere tool. I mean, there is one thing that like both Sana and I think that, I mean, Sana, you would also agree that we don't want to say that, okay, our experience is gonna be similar to
No.
your experience and you can apply from our learnings. It's not like that. We really acknowledge that people have different experience, and it's just we are sharing our experiences as a tool so that you can reflect back on your own situation and seek support when you feel
Yeah,
like you
I
need it.
also would
It's
like
just,
to just add up on that, that of course we are not any medical professionals, so we are not here to give you,
yeah,
yeah, I don't know, I cannot answer on anything that has to do with your own symptoms or etc. That what you need to do. It is purely based on our own experiences, and just to bring out an awareness to let you know that you're also not alone, and things happen, and it's just a beginning of learning interesting facts also about yourself, right? So yeah.
um
Yeah, so I,
so
yeah.
Okay, you wanna go
No,
first?
you can start. You wanted to ask something, isn't it?
No, because I think that we can talk a lot about today on how we navigate through our life in academia, and you have recently finished your
Yeah.
PhD. So maybe you can reflect back how your experience was and what you have learned. And now today that you have finished, like you have achieved what you wanted. And if you go back, if you want to change something, what would that be? So if you can answer
Yeah,
these
I
three
think
points.
with of course this PhD or any other professionals, even during a master, bachelor, or etc., whatever profession you are in, you will be faced with challenges. That's the first thing, and there's always it's a roller coaster ride. And so also during a PhD, it's not that you are done to in I don't know, in a year or so. So it's a long journey. And it is important to keep in mind that you will not face the same way every day. So as human beings, we really seek for rewards, right? We really want to see quick solutions to problems. We want to see like quick fruitful reward after we are done with something. But at least with PhD, that often tends to not happen. Of course, there are different experiences and in different in different working places. So that is very important to keep in mind. And I hope and I wish somebody told me in the beginning that it's okay, take your time, and you will get it there. So I learned it through the process. And the other important thing is, of course, to have a proper open communication. It's very important to have a good communication and to have an honest communication, and be it with your supervisors, with your bosses, or yeah, even with your colleagues. It's important to have a conversation, because what happens, and also it's also a bit of a cultural thing that we were also discussing the other day, right? That we are really tend to like, yeah, I don't know what the other person will think. I don't know what he or she, if he or she will judge me if I tell him or her that, hey, I'm not good in this thing, or I'm not confident to perform this task, or in my case, my experiments, and I need help. So the fact that you need to go up to somebody and tell that I need help is also a big thing, right? In our head, we always think like, yeah, maybe I cannot do it, and what if the other person judges? And then it doesn't help. It doesn't help anybody. So I think it's an open conversation is important. And I was also talking to another scientist, a senior scientist in the field the other day, and he told me that please have a open conversation about how you feel, and it could be about your work, it could be how you're feeling in the working environment, so that you feel safe. Because again, at least from my PhD experience, it's not done in 1 year, right? So it takes time, so you need to go through that journey. And I think the third point would be to, if you have good supportive colleagues, and that helps you a lot. So that helped me a lot in my journey. So, and also to be kind to yourself. You need to be kind to yourself, to say that it's okay what you're feeling and how you're feeling, and that people are there to help you. So this whole thought should be there. And if once the thought is there, I think it makes the journey a little bit easy, I guess. But I don't know, maybe you have another experience in your work field which is a bit different than
Yeah,
mine, right? Do you also feel the same way,
I,
or do
I
you think you have other points to add?
no, I fully agree. Like, yeah, open communications and everything. Yeah, and our field is very different because you are working on natural science, and I'm more of a social science person. And but the dynamic workplace, I think, are a little bit similar in terms of like, yeah, deadlines and everything. But I wonder, like, because for me, I, 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 I think I'm very open about my ADHD, and I make posts on the platform about ADHD in women. So I feel like uh, it's that there are so many deadlines and there are so many expectations. And of course, when it's not only in academia, I think it's everywhere that you are always expected to perform well, no matter like what kind of deadlines you have, what kind of work you have. So that kind of pressure puts a lot on your well-being, physical and mental well-being. I wonder, how did you manage? Because I can imagine when you were in PhD and you have a lot of deadlines and a lot of pressure to it, like, because you have like certain goals every year. You have to publish, and then you have to finish your thesis on time. I wonder, like, how did you manage through all those stress, like deadline and expectations
Yeah.
related stress?
For me, I went through a dip basically, and that's how uh, I realized that something is wrong. The way I was working, it's also the term that I was introduced was an autopilot. That's an interesting term, but I think all of many of us who are in professional world, it doesn't really have to stick to academia per se, but in other professions, in corporate scenes as well, you
Okay.
are on an autopilot. You wake up, you go to work, you're doing this, that, and your brain is active. So my brain was super active with things. Like even when I'm going to bed, I was working, of course, really long hours, and I did not really have my family living with me. So that makes a little bit more difficult, right, as an expat, because we both are away from family and things like that. And even when I was sleeping, I was not really resting because I figured I was really thinking about things. And yeah, so I went through a dip. I figured out something is off. I immediately seek for help. The good point is I had no idea about mental health stuff. So I felt really bad about it, that I am so educated, yet I have no clue what an anxiety, what a panic attack is, indeed what ADHD could do, and how, because you read a lot, right? But often what we do is we just push it away. So it's
Mm.
similar to, like, I've seen it, it's sort of like a pilot experiment. If I put a nice picture of myself on social media, people will instantly go and put a love, or yeah, whatever is there, whatever is available on that media. But if I do want to talk about mental health, you are really like, oh, back off. I'm not going to talk about this because this is serious shit, right? But it is just as any other problems. If you have fever, you seek help. You are 1 day, 2 days of, you're having paracetamol, ibuprofen, whatever, and then you're going to the doctors. You are asking for help. So why is it difficult to really not say it out loud? That was my point. So when I had my issues, I went to the doctors, I seeked all kind of help, and I learned more about myself. So today I am more confident about my patterns, about my issues, and I understand, like, everybody's different. What the common thing that I faced, and when I spoke to a lot of my friends and associates, that it's just difficult to come out and say, I'm not feeling well mentally. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm just feeling low. I I'm scared, right?
Mm.
It's hard to say it out loud. But when I
Yeah.
got professional help immediately, but to get to that point, I also had a very strong support of my friends. So, like I said in the beginning, your colleagues, the people that you work with on a daily basis, they are going to really be guarding you and helping you through the journey. And it doesn't have to be that you need 10 people around you, but everybody has somebody or the other, right? So I went and I just said, oh my God, I don't know why this is happening, why I'm feeling through it. I don't know what is happening. And then I got the help. So the professional help, but also it's important, according to me, that you don't keep it within yourself. Because why do we need to keep it to ourselves, right? And there's
Yeah.
always a solution. It's not like there is no solution, but there has to be a first step. Yeah, so that's what I did, and I'm on a journey. It's not like when you have fever and it's over and it will never come back to you, right? It can happen to anybody. So with all mental health issues, especially related to academia, if somebody is going through like a period where they just don't feel motivated to do something, or they are constantly doubting themselves, because the two really common things that pops up is the imposter syndrome. I guess we know it very well because we just keep on doubting every other shit that we do, right? And the other thing is, of course, a burnout. That's that the it's really a thing. It's so you need to speak to your bosses, to your supervisors, and also when you are really studying, in your bachelor, master, like, I don't feel motivated, or I don't know what's going on. I don't like this way, because in this journey, there is no end to learning, in my opinion, right? So you always learn from each other, and that's how there has to be an open conversation. We cannot limit ourselves to like, okay, there is a hierarchy, and I know we also come from a culture where we do have that fact as well, where we are like, cannot go and talk to my colleague or my teacher and say I am not feeling okay. But I think that's the thing. The system has to be changed, and it will only happen slowly. But I'm hoping it's gonna happen so we can help each other out. Um, yeah, but that was about me. But when was the time when you felt that shit, I don't know, and I need to talk to somebody? Do you have any like physical symptoms as well? Because this is all about the emotional barriers that we face through. But is there any physical symptoms, and you don't have to talk about ADHD in this live session, but in general, like some physical symptoms that you relate?
Yeah, I will answer to that question, but I just want to reflect back to one of the points you said. You are so right that I think somehow we are conditioned to believe when someone asks, how are you? And then we reply, I'm good, without even thinking. But when you tell others, especially your colleagues in a work setting, if you tell a colleague, I'm not feeling well, they're actually very, they can show empathy, and then they can feel your situation. So I think it's okay to not to be okay and tell others. I mean, we don't have to be preconditioned. I mean, it comes so naturally that we say, oh, I'm good, and you? No, I'm good,
Yeah.
fine, thank you. And you? It shouldn't be like, it doesn't have to be like that. So it's good that you can, I think, as if you are mindful about how you're feeling, and yeah, and you can like be honest, and you can see that people can actually are capable of showing empathy. So it can be, I think, nice for you. I don't know. That's how I think. About my physical symptoms, I don't know. I think I don't know. I think my anxiety, stress have like long history of my past experiences as well. So I don't know. I'm always very fidgety. Like I'm always doing that when I'm super stressed. I'm like doing. I mean, I'm extremely fidgety, and I don't know. I also have like headaches and other physical symptoms, I would say. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
all about it. I don't know if I have other physical symptoms, but mostly like I feel pain in my shoulder, fidgety, and I feel very fidgety, especially when my medicines wear out at work. And yeah, so for me, it's always good for
Yeah.
me to go to the
So I
gym.
think
And
few of the symptoms, maybe it's common, that also was happening to me for a very long time and I had no clue. It was indeed feeling stiffness on your shoulders, right? That's what you also mentioned. So I would feel
yes,
like a tingling sensation.
a
Yeah,
pain.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I also did
Not-
I joined a webinar on stress, and where people
mm,
from all over the world was joining, and I was so like surprised to see that there are actually before, because your mind and body is connected, right? It's not like my
yeah,
body is a separate thing and my brain and what is happening is it's really out of my body. Like, although we do feel out of the body experiences maybe when we are going in that loop, but it is one system.
and
Yeah.
yeah. Agree. And one thing, yes, and that can also reflect in your digestion and your sleep, in terms of like if you talk about,
Exactly.
especially digestion, and a lot of the IBS are also connected to mental
Correct. Yeah.
health.
So it is
Uh,
related to also IBS is also, as you said, is one good example of it. Indeed. So you feel yeah. So for me, it is mostly when I'm working too much and when I'm like stressed, my whole body becomes very rigid, and it has been happening for a long time, and I had no clue what is it, right? Because I'm on an autopilot. I will go on with my work, go on with things, and you never know until the point that you're breaking. That's when I understood that, oh, this was my body. Your body will always give you some kind of signals. That's what I learned. It will give you signals. It will tell you, hey, you need to stop, and you need a reboot. You
yeah.
need to pause. You need to pause. You need to breathe, and
Mhm.
then you need to start over. You just cannot go on going. And the other thing, as you said about IBS, I also heard a lot from people that they also feel like there's this cramps. There's this stomach cramps that happen, right? And some people, if you're really
Mhm.
panicking, also a lot of people they undergo either through, yeah, indeed, constipation or diarrhea even. So it can
Yeah.
hamper you. And of course,
Yeah.
sleep has always been it's been a thing. So
Yeah.
It will always create problems. So I think it's very important to recognize your own patterns, to take
Yeah.
a moment in the day to see, what am I doing, to being mindful, to being at present, and b, if it is persistent, if it is something that keeps on happening to you, if there's a if you feel continuously some kind of stomach cramps whenever something important is going to happen, or whenever you're going to present, or etc etc, so you know that's going to happen, and you know, you then have to act on it, not sit on it and say like, hey, but it's gone, right? Because it's happening on a
Yeah.
regular basis. And then b would be to seek help, to talk to somebody, and who you that's a good start, I think. And it's a very difficult thing to do. I think it's very difficult to open up
Yeah.
to say, hey man, I don't know what's going on with me, right? So, and that
Yeah.
would be, yeah.
I mean, no, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
so
you
I think
finish and then I'll add to that.
that's those so yeah, I always, when I now I know when I'm stressed, I'm having my shoulder issues right away. And I
Yeah.
know that this is a moment to
And
stop.
fast out. Yeah, that too. I think I can feel my um heartbeat, like especially when I'm super
It's the
stressed.
palpitations.
And then I know that my medicines have also like some,
Yeah,
effect. Uh, but one thing I think, yes, you are right. We should be able to open and talk about it. There's one challenge, especially because, yeah, we are coming from South Asian countries. So from a South Asian perspective, I would say it's so difficult to talk about mental health, especially if you're a woman. Then, I mean, then it's extra hard, and it's never seen, like mental health is not even a thing in Bangladesh. I wonder like how can we combat, because now especially in the middle class we can see that women are more into like workplace, like at least from our mom's generation, grandmother's generation, they were mostly like housewives. But now we can see that more, not only middle class, of course in other classes, I don't want to say classes, but you see what I mean, like not in every class, I would say, like women are going to work and they're also coming back, and then they're also working. So women are doing household work, and then they have like job where they can earn money. So they have like double workload, at least in South Asian context. And I wonder how can how can we create awareness so that they can be able to talk about their work related stress, because they have double workload. And now that we like, I mean, like when we were in Bangladesh, it was easy for us, like someone took care of us, we just studied and I did everything. Now that we are in Europe, we work, we come back, we cook, we clean, we do laundry, we can see the amount of work that goes into, and now we can see actually this is a lot, so I wonder like how we can also create awareness in
I
that
yeah,
context and
I
be.
think it's a long journey, and I think we also discussed a lot about our initiative. It's not limited to this, right? And I think uh, I would like to believe that there is always a start. And I understand your point about like in the South Asian context as well, when a working woman has too much to do, not just outside work, but also come home, take care of kids, etc., etc. But you know what is also fascinating, Anika, is the other part that we probably do not see is amongst men as well. Men are maybe the workload, I don't know, maybe now with our generation and with maybe this Gen Z and others come popping up, um, there we do believe in equality more. So there's like, it's a whole story that we could take on to another session later on. But people do, but what I do not see is also men coming up and talking a lot about their mental health. And so we know, according to statistics as well, that you will see a lot of these situation happens where men are probably most likely to like react in a more extreme way when it comes to their mental health issues, also in professional or in academic situations, because they are not, yeah, molded in a way where they could actually express themselves, because they need to be strong, right? I am the man of the house.
Yeah,
I am the strong
that's
person.
an masculinity that
Yeah.
is like, yeah, that needs to be unfolded,
Yeah, so I
definitely.
think
Yeah.
that is the other issue. And I think it's also, indeed, it's a good point to also bring up that in when we do talk about the academic professionals and we talk about mental health, it is not limited to one particular sex. So it's not limited to only female women, but it is limited. It is actually, it goes to everybody.
No,
It reaches everyone.
no,
It reaches everyone. Yeah, and
agree.
a lot of time we are not able to talk it out, and we're not able to say it out loud. And I've seen a lot of my male friends would not be able to do it as well, because, well, again, the whole society and the stigma and the whole dogma around it. You know, you need to be the strong person. And yeah, I hope it's all one step at a time, and it's going to change. But I have some messages here. So I see Fariha texting, yeah, messaging. It's a great initiative. Thank you so much for starting. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a first live session, so it would be also nice to hear how it's going and if there is something that you want to add to it. So we are also learning. And Suha says that the system has to be changed, and it would have been really comforting if our bosses or supervisors understands this discomforts right at the moment as well. This is very true. I agree that they need to also be educated, but that, as I said, learning is not limited to a certain age that, hey, I'm 20, 25, I'm done. The bosses can also learn, and that culture has to be, yeah, I don't know and how long it will take, but I'm still optimistic that it's going to happen, and it will be a slow process, maybe, perhaps. But if I can tell about myself a little bit, is that when I was, as she said about the discomfort and how they should also understand, I went directly to my boss and I said, I'm not feeling well mentally. I do not know what is happening to me, right? I have no clue. I want to help myself, and you have to help me. So it also takes, I think, a lot of courage to go up there and say it. But you need to stand for yourself no matter where you are, because your body is your home and your mind is a part of your body. And it's absolutely okay to not feel okay. When you're feeling sick, you take your day off. It doesn't matter when you're feeling physically sick or like emotionally sick or whatever it is being sick. And that's it. It's not because you're crazy or anything. It is because something is not okay, and you're accepting it, and you're taking that moment to tell the other person, I need my time off. And I'm sure he or she will understand. So in my case, my boss did understand, and I took my time off only to feel better and come back again. So yeah, so that, I hope it helps, and it will change over the time. But Anika, I was also thinking of something, that in these kind of professions, right, where we are again trying to publish, trying to be on time, I need to have a merit, I need to have a cum laude, I need to have a, I don't know, gold medal or whatever in that, in their professional situation. When do you think is there a right time when you know that this is it and I need to ask for help? Or till what moment do you push? Should it be the moment where, for example, for me, and I think I'm happy that I did know that I need help, but I'm not happy with the fact like how far it was stretched. Do you think that there should be like a, I don't know, like a borderline where like, hey, but I need help right away, unless you push it too hard, push yourself too hard, and then you seek help?
Yeah, yeah, I think it's again, like, depending on the person's situation and how aware and mindful they're about their own mental health and physical stress and everything. It really depends on the person's own situation, but it's always, as we said, like, even if it's the symptom is small, just check, reflect, like even if you're feeling some stiffness on your shoulder, or every day if you feel like, I'm super tired but I can't sleep, what's going on? That is also like your body signaling that small. It may not look like a big deal, but it's still a thing. And that small, even like a small stressor can, like, give you some insight about your health. So I think that's when you should, that's how I personally think, because I also felt that it took me a long time to realize to seek support, which shouldn't have been the case if I were more aware of the situation. Yeah, so I think that's one of the platform's goal, is like you can just, we really want other people also to come to this platform and share experience, and we can learn from others, and we can also reflect back to our situation and say, well, yeah, that happened to me, and why didn't I think about it? So I think, yeah, these experiences can be valuable too to also like reflect back
yeah.
when to seek support.
So then you would say your physical symptoms in this case, right? Because your body gives you signal, so
And
you
physical symptom is an example, but also like I don't know, if you can't focus, for example, and you see that patterns coming back
yeah
like almost every day, you're procrastinating way
yeah
too much, then probably you are having burnout. You
yeah
just don't know what's happening, or maybe you have some other
yeah
stress. It doesn't have to be physical stress. It can be also
yeah
like other
yeah. I think
things.
I completely agree with you that if there is a persistent um, symptoms, be it your bodily signals or whatever you're feeling, that has to be addressed, and it has to be addressed in an honest way. And I face another big challenge is accepting it. And I think that's also a very
Yeah.
big problem, right? In this whole thing that I am with everything, I guess. I do not feel comfortable with this technique, for example, or with this job at work. And um, I don't know, but can I ask somebody, or how would that other person think about me? And I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a whole cycle, and it keeps on going. But I think I would like to point out that everything in life is actually a teamwork. Like we are, and I think we all have a purpose to just, it's very simple to be kind to yourself and also be kind to each other. The fact is that, but it's so difficult, right, to accept it that something is off, that I am not feeling okay. But we are so hard on ourselves to just accept the fact that I'm not feeling okay. And it took me, I don't know, it took me a very long time to come to these terms. And I now understand why, because I was not aware of it, right? And
Yeah.
we call
Exactly.
ourselves quite educated, and that's very interesting. Like I'm educated, yet I have no clue about this world. And it's also again okay, because it's a journey, it's a start. And the fact that you know it yourself a little bit, you are able to help another person, and that person can hopefully, help another. And it's a chain, it's a teamwork. um yeah, and I was wondering if there are like few things that we could probably add in this academic situation, and where they know that, okay, we have a problem, and we could seek help. So again, emotionally or professionally, and I would like to really point it out again that um, it's completely fine to ask for professional help. We are going to these general practitioners for, like whatever. It doesn't matter. You can just go and ask for help and see what is happening to you and get the right kind of guidance, and that should help. But do you have anything to say when it comes to what would could be, we talked about a lot about the professional help, and like speaking to other people and seeing how, yeah, if you could share with somebody. But are there any other things that people could do who are really wearing out because of continuous, yeah, in this whole
Yeah.
cycle of work, repeat, work, sleep, repeat? Is there something that they could also do in between to help themselves, or to, I don't know, relax or reboot, those kind of things?
Yeah. Before that, I just want, Orpita wrote, I think the pattern of procrastination when there is a deadline or too much work to do
Yeah,
is also a sign. The sign I realize that my mental health is not sound, maybe that
yeah.
could be a sign too. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I am like, if anything, I could win a Nobel Prize. It's always like when it's too much, I procrastinate way more than yeah. So I definitely agree. And yeah, maybe, and Orpi, I just wanted to tell you that, yeah, if you think it's too much for you, and I, it's good that you seek help. I mean, whatever, from your workplace, or I don't know, or yeah, from health service providers. I just think that you shouldn't take it for granted, because I know the work you do, and it's not easy. And of course, like, you are also in a foreign land and way away from your family and friends. So that's how I
But I
think.
think this deadline is always it will always, it's always going to push. I know that in certain places they work um, 9 to 5, it's so hard to stick to that 9 to 5, right? Especially when you are in research. It's
Yeah,
not possible. It's not possible. But it is important to know that deadlines can also wait. Because what we do is, Alpita is saying she's still trying to make. I'm also
yeah,
trying. I'm also trying. I am also thinking it's my new job. I'm going to take time for myself. I'm going to say that if I postpone something for one day, it's not going to change anything. And I think the bosses will also understand. It's only because we in our head think we have to stick to the deadline, right? We have to prove ourselves and we have to prove them we are doing good. Otherwise, what would happen? Because there's a whole thought that's going on. But I guess it's important that it's also uh, you have to take care of yourself. Again, your body is your home, and you need to take care of yourself. You need to think, okay, if this is what I need to cater to, but I'm not able to because I'm wearing out, I'm going to pause, and then I'm going to restart and not be in an autopilot, because that is, I think it's quite dangerous. But I am pretty sure that
yeah,
all of us here, like, we are constantly on some sort of an autopilot and we move on, right?
yeah.
There's another person who
There
messaged.
is
Yeah.
one thing.
Okay, I will just read the
No,
message
there's
first.
more thing I wanted to add that like when you seek professional help, yeah, as Sana said, that there will always be a lot of deadlines, but the most important thing is how to prioritize your mental health and how to manage through those deadlines. And if you think you have already too much on your plate, then definitely that needs to be discussed. The problem in many cases that we take a lot on our plate because we really want to prove and perform without actually considering our mental and physical health, and then we end up causing a lot of problems for us. So I think when you seek help, then that you can be mindful about it. If it's too much, then you can prioritize and talk to your boss. But and if it's not too many deadlines, but you still feel like sometimes it can be overwhelming, even though you have like one simple deadline, uh, that like yeah that if you know how to be mindful through like professional help and everything, that helps you to manage
And
dealing those
I got an
situations,
interesting
especially
comment which says the pattern of too much work means prioritization should be made for self and not for work.
who is that.
But I
Okay.
think
Yeah, yeah,
this is a very good point, and I constantly fail at doing so. But um, and also, like, because somebody did tell me as well that it's not just that your work is a part of your life. It's not your life. It's
yeah,
not everything,
exactly.
right? And I am also trying to think about it, especially in my new workplace now. I am trying to prioritize myself, because again, you have to stand for yourself first, and then only you can expect others to understand it, right? You need to understand yourself. You need to understand that you need proper sleep, you need to drink properly, you need to take care of yourself. When you need, when you feel low, you need to ask, you need to talk to somebody, or you need to ask for help. Do what is necessary, and not be afraid, or not be scared, or not be ashamed. That is also a big thing, because we are usually ashamed of saying that i'm not feeling um, I'm not feeling okay, and that's sad, right? It's a sad reality that we are in 23, and we are just being in that zone where I'm ashamed to say that I'm feeling depressed. But I mean, it's okay,
Yeah,
right? I mean, why? What is so, like, unnatural about it? It's not unnatural about it. We are only
I
human beings.
someone tells me in this world that I'm not depressed, and I'm like, there's something wrong with you. I wouldn't believe anyone who is not depressed. I mean, to some extent, more or less everyone. I mean, we live in such complex time now. I read this one now. When I feel heavy on my chest, breathing difficulty, sleep problem for all day, and I cannot achieve. Yeah,
Oh, then she understands she needs
yeah.
help
Now,
immediately.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry to
yeah.
hear.
But again, if you think about it, it's, your patterns already. You know
Yeah,
that you will
that's
feel, you will have palpitations, you are having breathing difficulties, and this is happening at a certain time. You cannot sleep well, so you know already that there has to be certain changes. Of course, your professional guidance will be there to guide you, and I am bringing it out again and again because I think it should be more available. I know in Europe you can seek a psychological help, but also in South Asia and everywhere else, right, in the world, it should be more available. It would be like going to your GP, period, just talking to about it. And that is important, but also you know that maybe there are certain things that you need to change about your lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
It's simple that if this is giving me anxiety or this is causing me more trouble, I need to take a step back, and that's it. That's prioritizing yourself. But as I swayed away a little bit. We were talking about what are the few things that we, with our experiences, we could tell like the audiences here and in general, um, that you need to.
Sana, I just have to say one more thing because I
Oh,
think my phone is dying. I don't think it's
but can
dying.
you? Yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
the thing was that
So
what could it be?
if you wanna continue, that's fine. But my phone is
Yeah.
dying now.
But can you put it on charge or something?
No, I mean, how? I mean, it's iPhone. I don't know. I wonder like if I could join using my laptop, but
Yeah,
I'm not
okay.
sure.
But anyways, I will continue this and maybe you can leave
Yeah.
and I will also end the live session soon. So anyways, so the last point, and that was the point that I'm trying to make, that what are the few things that we could tell with our experiences that could be some small steps, right? It doesn't have to be big step right away. On a daily basis, when you are in this research field or you're going to an office and you're going through, well, work. What are the few things that we could say that can help you relax even during those stressful hours? I think for me that helps is one of the things is to breathe. Sounds very funny, but it helps. It helps in the sense it helped me, and it is more just deep breathing. And I've been doing this for three years now. It has become a part of my own system. So just inhaling, taking a few pauses, and exhaling through your mouth, and that works wonders for me because it's just bringing you back to the present. You are here, and nothing is going anywhere. You could do it. And there's another thing I read was to pause, to breathe, and then repeat. So these two things, I think for me, it helps. I don't know for you, do you have something that you could also add
Yeah.
during your work day, like between those 8 hours
Yeah.
or so?
Please, yeah, try to go for a small walk after lunch, even if it's 15 minutes walk. It's really important. And depending on where you are, if you are in a like dark country, it's really important that you get some sunlight during work hour. So I
Yeah.
think it's really important.
And
Small
also
movement.
like not miss your meals. That's also something I have been doing for a long time. Not
Sorry?
miss your meals. So have your lunch,
Oh,
get your breakfast,
definitely.
eat what is
But
healthy,
I have to,
drink a lot of
I miss,
water.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And rely too much on coffee. That can be also very
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Have like wine, not, I don't know. I used to have a lot of coffee, so
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah.
To stay awake. Yeah.
Okay, so I think
Actually,
I don't know for how long we are here. We are here for a very long time, and there are different things. So
now,
it was very interesting to see a lot of people joining. So really
yeah.
heartfelt thank you to everybody here. I don't know how to post this live session.
For that close, I want to say to everyone who are here now, today is Sano's birthday, and today is also we are having the first live session. So please wish her happy birthday,
Thank
and I think it's a great initiative, and I'm very grateful that you thought about it. It's amazing that you took this upon you to, talk more about mental health issues and creating awareness. So it's really nice, and yeah, you should be very proud of yourself, everything you have achieved so far, and you are an inspiration to a lot of women and people in general. And so happy birthday and thank you. And
Thank you, Anika, for also joining and actually for helping me out through the process. I'm sure this is just the beginning, and we have some interesting things that will be coming up soon. I will try to continue the live sessions. I don't know how often it would be, but it will be soon with other professionals, hopefully, who could come on board and share their experiences on different topics. But till then, I would like to say that we are all together here as a team. if there's something that you also want to DM us separately or to me and to share your experiences or to just listen to you, I am going to be there. And I will try and post this session online. I do not know how it works, but I'm going to try. And yeah, thank you again. And thank you also for the wishes. Thank you, Anika. Have a good day. See each other soon. Bye.
Bye. Yeah. Bye.